So starting with internal security, first of all, elements of national security is our first topic. And what are the elements of national security? Elements are of various types like military, 4E, chips, RD, GF. So mnemonics to remember is my GF is forever ready to eat chips. My GF is 4E RD to eat chips. This is mnemonics to remember the elements. So what is the meaning of what is included in military? External and internal, both state and non-state actors. What are four E's? Energy, environment, economy, and ethnicity. Okay, what are the elements that are chips? Okay, see, cyber, health, information, political security, strategy. What are the other elements? RD, resource and disaster. What more are elements? Geostrategic element and food element. Okay, accessible, affordable, available plus nutritious food. Okay, remember, food is having various aspects, which is accessible, affordable, available and nutritious food. Okay, so we can have a case study of PL 480, food security and Naxalism. Okay, what was PL 480 in 1960s? Food shortage plus food import. Okay, from USA, PL 480 program. Okay, 1962 war with China. 1964 to 65 Pakistan US ally. Therefore, India to not fight. US forced India to not fight and warned India to stop the PL 480 food program. So by that time, MS Swaminathan started Green Revolution for the Make in India and promoting and self reliance of India at the rate food sector. Okay, what are the additional keywords here? Additional keywords are energy security, that is Middle East war is going on because of it. Ethnic security, that is mob violence. Information warfare, like BBC doctrine on 2002 violence is released after so much time. That's information warfare. Okay, also in information warfare we can have the vice president's statement to IIS officers. Okay, what he gave statement is very important. Okay, we'll see it. Resource security is also a keyword. Brahmaputra Indus Water Treaty. Okay, resource security. Political is human rights and FSPA. Strategic autonomy, health, food. So what are the additional keywords? Food is green revolution, health is pandemic. Okay, what are additional keywords? Let's revise it again. Energy security, ethnic security, information warfare, resource security, political, strategic autonomy, health, food. Okay, these are additional warfare. So elements of national security are military, external and internal, both state and non-state actors. 4E is economic, energy, environmental, ethnic. Chips is cyber, health, information, political security, strategy. RD is resource, disaster. GF is geostrategic and food. Okay, PL 480 case study example we have seen. So coming to now coming to national security doctrine. What is national security doctrine? What is it? It is the codification of vision, principles and objectives for the armed forces and for the diplomats. For both of them they are different. Okay, they carry different perspective. Like for both of them, it is the national interest national interest and management of challenges. Okay, so its definition and prediction are all included in national security doctrine. For diplomats, its modalities of elements of national power. Okay, so these are the national security doctrine. Okay, so uh, what are the various what will it contain? It will contain vision, resource allocation, adversarial calculations, culture of accountability. These will these it will contain. Okay, so culture of accountability, this. Okay, so what will it contain? Let's see it again. It will contain elements of NSD. Okay, national security doctrine. What will it contain? Indian factors are Indian factors are principles, objective, vision. Okay, second, future of forces, third, goals and interest. Okay, second is modalities. What resources do we have? How to allocate them? Responses and readiness. Okay, readiness. Okay, and interplay of force and diplomacy. How will they manage in between them? Okay, third element is adversarial calculations. Like what factors deter them? Okay, their interest. How do they respond? Okay, for the elements of national security. Fourth point is culture of accountability, federal accountability, clear roles and responsibilities, coordination mechanism. Okay, why not so for in India? In India, national security doctrine is so far not now established, not because of the national security doctrine is not established till now because of the Shiv Shankar Menon said that it is the political hesitation because of lack of consensus that leads to deliberate non-disclosure. Okay, so these are the elements of national security doctrine, and more about national security doctrine. What is the need? In past, we must see that accountability accountability, clarity of responsibility was not there in IC 814 hijack. Okay, algorithmic decision making in emergencies, like in IC 814 and 2611 Mumbai attack. Previous committees have recommended, like Kargil Review Committee, NC Task Force Committee. These all recommended for the national security doctrine. What is the need of now? Threat perceptions need integration, like blurring lines 2.5 front war, as said by Vipin Chandra, CDS of our army. Okay, integrating civil society. New domain is integrating civil society is new domain according to Ajit Doval. Civil society must be integrated. Balance between militarized civilians and civilized military. Okay, so militarized civilians can be perceived as Israel's conscription policy, and civilized military is Europe's civilized military. Okay, so comprehensive national power that has six elements. Okay, examples of foreign powers is USA, China, Pakistan. These all can be threats. So we need national security doctrine. What are the needs for future? Changing domains of warfare, like complex threats, gray zone warfare are currently prevailing the warfare zone. Okay, essential before reform. So what is essential before reform is MN Narwane, former NSA, said that it is the cart before the horse. Okay, so it is so much important. Okay, MN Narwane, former NSA National Security Advisor, said that it is cart before the horse. Okay, rationalize jointness in procurement, weapons development and import. Okay, these were the future aspects. Okay, what are the challenges in frames? Ideology, strategic restraints. Okay, then goals, divergent goals of armed forces, then framing, how to frame civil military relation, joint policy inputs, then updation needs regular update, okay, execution, loss of strategic flexibility, example Israel, feedback is lack of think tanks, okay. So what are the challenges? Ideology, goal, framing, updation, execution, feedback. Remember, for everything we are having the challenges like ideology, goal, framing, updation, execution and feedback. So, conclusion. What is the conclusion? Conflict ridden global landscape, need of vigilant and adaptive security craft, defensive offense, offensive defense. Okay, so this is the strategy of India. What can be the counter view? Okay, counter view is, if national security doctrine is not written, it doesn't mean that it's not there. Article 370, Balakot strike, and all these are showing that thing. Okay, so what's the Wall doctrine is double squeeze doctrine. Okay, what is double squeeze doctrine is that even if we don't have uh, even if we doesn't have we don't have written national security doctrine, still we are having it, we apply it. Okay, so value addition. What is value addition in national security doctrine? Ajit Doval said that the new frontiers of war is what you call civil society. Okay, remember this. Okay, so Shiv Shankar Menon said that half done reforms create new vulnerabilities without solving old ones. Okay, so this must be remembered. Keywords are doctrine as preventive deterrence, not just proactive capacity. Doctrine as preventive deterrence, not just reactive capacity to not react. Okay, this is the crux of this, not to react. Okay, doctrine as preventive deterrence, not just reactive capacity. Security via soft power buffer, avoiding reactive posturing, avoiding rehyphenation with rogue power, not a static guidebook. Military doctrines as a subset of national security doctrine. Okay, these are the different keywords: policy coherence, operational clarity, strategic signaling and world order, loss of strategic flexibility. These can be used as keyword. Okay, recent context. Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji outlined three key pillars of India's national security doctrine. What are the three key pillars of India's national security doctrine? Decisive retaliation, no tolerance for nuclear blackmail, okay, and no distinction between terror sponsors and terrorists. Okay, Union Home Minister. What are the three things? Decisive retaliation, no tolerance for nuclear blackmail, no difference between nuclear terror sponsors and terrorists. Okay, Union Home Minister inaugurated a 2 day National Security Strategies Conference in September 2024. Union Home Minister inaugurated a 2 day National Security Strategies Conference 2024. Lecture on National Security Strategy held at Central University, Kerala. Okay. So lecture on National Security Strategy was held on a central university in Kerala. Okay, what can be the diagram with it? Diagram is of triangular. We can make a triangle, and the 3 points vertices of triangles represent policy, processes, organizational structure. Okay, what can be the meaning of policy? Policy is neighborhood first. Processes, defense planning committee. Okay, organizational structure like NSD, National Security Council, CDS, etc. Okay, so this figure represents elements of India's unwritten strategy. Okay, what are the nuclear security doctrine? India is having nuclear tried, land, sea, air. Okay, India hadn't signed NPT, non-proliferation treaty. Okay, so India is having various approaches like second strike capability, credible minimum deterrence, mutually assured destruction, no first use. Okay, so 25 years of launch of nuclear doctrine is around to complete. Or so what are the features? Features are building and maintaining credible minimum deterrent, no first use policy, massive retaliation to first strike. Nuclear retaliatory strikes can only be or authorized by political council. Non-use of nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states. In case of chemical or biological attacks, option of retaliation by nuclear weapons. Okay, so in case of chemical or biological attacks, option of retaliation by nuclear attacks. Okay, and nuclear weapons. Continuation of strict control on exports of nuclear weapons and missile technologies. Participation in fissile material cutoff treaty negotiations. Observance of moratorium on nuclear tests, continued commitment to the goal of a nuclear free world through global, verifiable, and non discriminatory nuclear disarmament. Okay, so what are the repeating again, what are the features? First is building and maintaining credible minimum deterrent. Second is no first use policy. Third is massive retaliation to first strike. Okay. Fourth is nuclear retaliatory strikes can only be authorized by political council. Only be authorized by political council. Fifth is non-use of nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states. Sixth is in case of chemical or biological attacks, option of retaliation by nuclear weapons. Seventh is continuation of strict control on exports of nuclear weapons and missile technologies. Eighth is participation in fissile material cutoff treaty negotiations. Ninth is observance of moratorium on nuclear tests. 10th is continued commitment to the goal of a nuclear free world through global, verifiable, and non discriminatory nuclear disarmament. Okay, these were the features. So, what is Nuclear Command Authority? Nuclear Command Authority is having two aspects. First is Political Council, second is Executive Council. Political Council is headed by Prime Minister who authorizes use of nuclear weapon. Okay, Executive Council is headed by NSA, National Security Advisor. Okay, so who is under PM only. Okay, but here he is having for Executive Council, he executes the directives of Political Council. What PM directs him, he executes, he she executes that. Okay, what is the relevance of nuclear security doctrine? Promotes strategic stability. CMD means is cost effective. Okay, what is promotes strategic stability? CMD is cost effective. Responsible nuclear stewardship. Political control. With political control it can be responsible nuclear stewardship. Global reputation as a responsible power. Okay, red line against Pakistan's Nasr tactical nukes. Okay, these are the relevance. Okay, international position of India is not a party of NPT, non-proliferation treaty, did not sign CTBT. Okay, it is also a these are and India says that these are discriminatory in nature. Third is volunteering IAEA safeguards on civil facilities. Fourth is continues to seek NSG's membership. Okay, these are the international position of India and what its what side it takes. Okay, criticism of nuclear security doctrine is strategic restraints posture. CMD lacks flexibility in a dynamic threat environment. For example, China's MIRV delay in retaliation due to political control. Okay, portrays a defensive and non-retaliatory stance. What is way forward for it? Preserving character while lending flexibility. Strategic Doctrine Review Commission issue periodic white papers like China's defense white paper to signal posture updates, push for a South Asia nuclear risk reduction center with track 2 and 1.5 diplomacy. Okay, what are the value additions? India's national security doctrine NSD. Point 1 has civilian control. Okay, point 2 is no first use. Point 3 is verifiable and non-discriminatory disarmament. Fourth is unacceptable retaliation. Now, value addition for nuclear security doctrine. Here, the Raksha Mantri said that no first use policy depends on circumstances. Okay, it's not something strict and rigid thing that we will not use first use the nuclear weapons. Okay, so MEA white paper was raised in MEA. So what it said that India's nuclear doctrine is rooted in responsibility, restraint and credibility. Okay, these are the for nuclear security doctrine. Shiv Shankar Menon said that India's nuclear weapon posture is determined by its ability to inflict unacceptable damage in retaliatory strike. Okay, what are the keywords? Keywords are counter value targeting. Okay, second is second strike capability. Third is escalating dominance. Fourth is nuclear signaling. Fifth is nuclear blackmail. Sixth is doctrinal ambiguity. Seventh is nuclear overhang. Okay, what is the recent context? Amid Operation Sindoor, EAM, okay, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said India will never bow to nuclear blackmail. Also, significant push toward nuclear energy in budget 2025 was seen, like SMRs and BSRs. Okay, also nuclear energy mission for Viksit Bharat was also seen in budget 2025. Okay, now we will start with left wing extremism. Planning Commission 2008 report said that left wing extremism filled developmental gap according to public. Okay, so what does it mean? Left wing extremism is the cause of developmental gap. Okay, what is it? Radical political ideology that contains 3 points: disaffection, disinformation, displacement. Okay, what it means is protracted people's war, radical political environment or social change. Okay, overthrow of government. Okay, what is evolution? Evolution is phases are: first phase 1969 to 72, then 75 to 2004, then 2004 to 13 is third, and 14 from 14 to now is fourth stage. Okay, left wing extremism is important for 2026 mains. Okay, Naxalbari, Charu Majumdar. Okay, these are the examples of first phase. Second phase examples we can have is four main factors: MCC, PWG, PU, CPIML. Okay. Third stage had MCC plus PV plus PVG and CPI Maoist. We can have an idea of Salva Judum, Danterwada killing, Green Hunt. Not so important. These phases are not so important, but we can use it in value addition if we remember. Okay, so in fourth stage, it is important as it is contemporary. Maoist tactical retreat. Okay, movement on its last legs. Okay, Naxal Mukt Bharat by 31st March 2026. This is most important thing. It will come into mains, prelims, and also will be asked in interviews too. What are the areas of presence? Okay, there is a map, Maoist presence. Okay, digit. What we can have is the red corridor. The red corridor can be seen to be half of UP, starting from the western boundary is starting from the half of UP and going diagonally to the Karnataka, and having some areas of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Kerala also. So the and in the eastern side, it is touching the eastern coast of India. Okay, and it is all over the eastern coast of India except Tamil Nadu side. Okay, so it is called red corridor. Okay, so Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu tri-junction is also was also under red corridor. Okay, is also under red corridor. Maharashtra, MP, Chhattisgarh tri-junction, we can see it is also under the red corridor. Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha is also in under red corridor. Development of mini red corridor. Okay, it is also important because these are most affected areas. Okay, well, let's see the data. LWE, left wing extremism affected districts. In 2018 it was 90, in 2021 it was 70, in 2024 it's 38, and in 2026 it it will be it will be around 5. Okay, it is estimated. Okay, number of most affected districts, uh, 12 12 district to 6 district of concern, 9 to 6 district. Okay, reduction in left wing extremism related violence, 81% from 2010 to 2024. Okay, reduction in left wing extremism related deaths, 85%, 2010 to 2024. What is what Now we will see the failure of land distribution. Land reform failed, and the reasons are land reform failed, the land to the tiller, industrial interest, development induced displacement. Also, XAXA committee report said that 40% tribals are victims, and lack of recourse, lack of governance recourse. We can have an idea that people's code by left wing extremism and judicial alienation. They solve the cases early and are more reachable, so people prefer that only. Naxalism, socio-economic and developmental issue causing security threat. Okay, what are the drivers? Drivers are social economic issues, forced labor, lack of minimum wages, exploitation. Okay, so here is a diagram of Naxals gain legitimacy and governance deficit. Governance deficit is giving Naxals gains legitimacy as their deficit. So this is vicious cycle. Okay, and Naxals gain legitimacy, produce more governance deficit. Okay, Forest policy is also a concern as lack of CFR, harassment by forest bureau bureaucrats. Okay, police and state repression, brutality, no tribal welfare cadre. Okay, social exclusion, SC/ST Act not enforced. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act not enforced. Psychological empowerment by Naxals. Okay, so countering left wing extremism. How can we counter left wing extremism? Okay, so let's see it. How can we counter left wing extremism? Broader approach is national policy and action plan. Home Ministry website quoted this national policy and action plan, and we can have a diagram of triangle again here. Then left wing extremism. The vertices are security, development, and address legitimate grievances. Keywords are from tactical containment to structural disintegration, leadership cadre support. Okay. 3C is road, mobile, and financial connectivity. Dual approach, peace through inclusion and democratic engagement. No holds bad strategy. Okay. What are government schemes? Government schemes are physical infrastructure. What under physical infrastructure? Special central assistance, live line mobile tower and connectivity, mobile connectivity projects are the government schemes. Road infrastructure plan 2, special infrastructure scheme with fortified police stations. Institutional measures are unified command, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, multi-agency center, special forces are those. What are social measures? PM Jan Jatiya Unnat Gram Yojana, PVTG Development Mission, Eklavya Model Residential Schools, okay, Tribal Youth Exchange Program, these are social measures, and Goal and Roshni, ABP, Sampurnata Abhiyan, okay, these can be seen. And rehabilitation of militants also, under government scheme we can have an idea of surrender come rehab policy. Okay, case study of Chhattisgarh can be seen. Okay, so more case studies we can have about Odisha mission Gramoday, comprehensive welfare and development program. 583 left wing extremism affected villages. Okay, what is it? Mission Gramoday for the upliftment of the villages. What is the target? Target is Naxal Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, eliminate by 31st March 2026. Also, we can have a case study of Elwad Panchayat Abhiyan. What is it? 1 crore worth construction works and other incentives for Maoism free Panchayat. Okay, 1 crore worth construction works and other incentives for Maoism free Panchayat. 8 pillars of fighting Maoism are Samadhan. Okay, what are Samadhan? S for smart leadership, A for aggressive strategy, M for motivation and training, A for actionable intelligence, D for dashboard based KPIs, H for harness technology, A for action plan for each state, and for no access to financing. These are the various types of case studies we have seen. Okay, so security forces in operation. What are the security forces in operation? We can have for the West Bengal, we had STRACO, STRACO. For the Jharkhand, we had Operation Anaconda. For the Chhattisgarh, we had Operation Kagar, Operation Green Hunt, that is for Chhattisgarh, and for Andhra Pradesh and around is SOG Special Unit, that is for Andhra Pradesh. SOG Special Unit, Security Forces and Operation we have done. So we can have a case study of coordinated efforts in Balaghat, State Police, CRPF, and Hawk Force. We can make a triangle of it: State Police, CRPF, and Hawk Force, that is local force. Elimination of Maoist and arms seizure was done in Balaghat. Okay. Action of various stakeholders. What are the stakeholders? Security forces, administration institutions, okay, security government personnel, local bodies, civil societies. What are under security forces? Specialized, okay, they are specialized. WHAM, development oriented, okay, administrative institutions, oversight committees for FRA, Forest Right Act 2006, sensitivity also in administration. Government personal punishment posting syndrome, okay, local recruitment. Local bodies is PESA, PESA, and civil societies acts as bridge, counter urban disinformation. What is the case study of Salwa Jadum? It is of Chhattisgarh, okay. Vigilant movement, major deaths and massacre. Nandini Sundar case, unconstitutional, okay. So Nandini Sundar case was filed in Supreme Court that it is unconstitutional to massacre and do operations there. So excessive delegation with respect to Chhattisgarh Police Act, SPOs were uh, charged as violation of Article 1421 in combat roles. Okay, so Salwa Jadum was an operation in which Supreme Court intervened and said that in Nandini Sundar case that it is unconstitutional to do like this. So what are the condition of women in Red Corridor? 60% of Maoist cadres. Okay, Krantikari Adivasi Mahila Sangathan. It it is made, okay. Structural violence and dual burden, okay. Need to rework security responses. These are the things. 60% of Maoist cadre is women, okay. Interplay with fifth schedule and forest policy. Fifth policy, governor is having lack of capacity. Tribal advisory councils have tokenistic meetings, that is non or and also has non-binding judgment. What about laws? Routine application, inconsistent state laws. Reports to president casual and irregular. Directions by center not given. So we can have an idea of with respect to this Mungelkar XAX या फिर Mungelkar or XAXA Commission Committee. These were all given by Mungelkar or XAXA Commission Committee. What are forest policies? Historical injustice, British policies, IFA 1927, FCA 1980. These all gave center to power and center the power, and the tribals were uh, were given historical injustice. Course correction is B.K. Roy, Burma, B.K. Roy, Burma Committee, Forest Right Acts. Okay, okay. Tribals, in Forest Right Act, it is said that tribals are the best forest managers. Okay, these were the correction. BK Burma Committee said that said for the Forest Right Act, which said that tribals are best forest managers and give them some powers. Okay, what is important for prelims is here is FRA, Forest Right Act issues. Forest Right Act, Gram Sabha as authority, it implemented rights. For the rights, it's title use development management, okay, and policy undefined terms, that is bona fide livelihood. Okay. Second is conflict with FCA. What is these were of policy undefined terms, that is bona fide livelihood is not uh, like bona fide livelihood is not defined. Okay. Conflict with FCA is also seen in FRA. Okay. Implementation is implement only 40% claims, MOTA. Okay, MOTA. Second is wrong grounds for rejection. Okay. What are the violation of FRA issues? Okay. FRA issue violation, lack of CFR, community forest rights. Okay. Second is eviction before completion of process. Okay. Like three J's are there: Jal, Jungle, Jameen. Okay. Infrastructural development can also help. That is Gadchiroli. We can have an example. A place is named Gadchiroli. We can have a case study of that also. A triangle in which three vertexes are infrastructure development, recognition of community forest rights, rehabilitation of surrendered Naxals. So it is the example of Gadchiroli. Okay. So note that FRA Forest Right Act is important for prelims. Okay. So what can we remember with quotes? Sri K. Vijay said that movement is on its last legs. Okay, for Naxals. Prime Minister said that those who have taken the path of Naxalism must recognize the power of non-violence. Okay. What are the keywords? Keywords are soft power approach in internal security policy. Maoism survives in security vacuum. Political legitimacy deficit. Radicalization pathways. Insurgency as development failure. Ideological anarchism. Penetration integration gap. Indian Forest Act 1927 is still followed. We must note this. Is still followed. Indian Forest Act. Okay. Recent context: Naxal Mukt Bharat Abhiyan to eliminate Naxalism by 31st March 2026. Death of 8 Naxals, 1 security personnel in Abuj Abujmad area in Chhattisgarh. IED blast in Bijapur. Death of 8 security personnel. Urban Naxalism. Ideological and logistical support provided by urban intellectuals to the Naxalist movement. Okay. Urban Naxalism is also important. Ideological and logistical support provided by urban intellectual to Naxalist movement. What is Maharashtra's Special Public Security Bill 2024? We must also see that vague and broad definition of unlawful activity, apprehensions of being aimed at activists, no expert legal vetting or public constitution, no expert legal voting or public consultation. Sorry. And fourth is no due process in property seizure. What is court? Court can be seen as Naxalism vanishing from jungles but taking roots in urban cities, as said by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Okay.